Okay, chapter 7, priorities. Would you
I
like
want
to...
some pony with a sharp intellect, and a heart from hell. Some pony with eyes like starfire and a mouth with a kiss like a bottomless well. But mostly, I want some pony who will love me when I do not know how to love myself. Pre-war sweet words. Pre-war
Okay.
poet sweet words.
Glitter? Startup.
So, what are we going to do about dinner?
Glitter asked as we made our way into the base of the mountain. Well, she was kind enough to turn off the turret defenses so we didn't get turned to small piles of glowing embers.
Don't know.
Blackjack grunted from Glitter's back.
Don't care. Not opening my eyes till we land.
She stated firmly.
Touchdown! The glitter has landed.
Little Bomb declared boldly. Blackjack cracked open an eye and instantly hopped to the earth. Spike's Mountain was to the east of us. To the west was lots of wasteland. Pretty much all around was a great unknown.
So, what are we eating? I told you, I don't know.
Blackjack looked at me as I landed next to my friend.
I'm pretty sure I bought some supplies with me.
She said, rooting around in her saddlebags.
I've got plenty of bullets.
I let my ears back and gave Blackjack a flat look. Blackjack, 3 cans of cram, a box of snack cakes, and 7 sparkle colas does not count as supplies. Not to mention that Glitter ate all the cram. My girlfriend grimaced at the mention of the name.
Ew, no more mystery hay, please. It tastes yummy, but my tummy gets rumbly thinking about it.
All the more reason to stop and scavenge then, I suggested, looking out over the ruined plains as we trotted along. What about over there? I asked, pointing out an old Pony Joe's dinner, a kilometer or so distant. Luxie raised the hoof to shield her eyes from the setting sun. Then she looked back at me.
Well, lead on.
She said with a smile, sweeping the hoof over towards the Pony Joe's. I blinked. You're not going to argue with me?
Why? Is it a bad idea?
I honestly wasn't sure. If she was agreeing with me, well, it might be dangerous.
It might.
And you're not going to stop me, or try to talk me out of it, or teleport ahead and take them all out to make it safe for me. Anard and I jabbing with her. You're going to, aren't you? She stared at me and then walked up to and put her hoofs on my shoulder.
Serenity, your choice. We scavenge there. We scavenge somewhere else. Your call. I got your back.
I stared back at her, my heart pounding in my chest. Wait, my choice? Since when did I have to make all the decisions? Well, probably since you decided that it was a good idea to go on this trip, Tammy. My inner voice was so helpful. I swallowed. Well, that looks like the most logical choice, so, I mean, how bad can the Pony Joe's be? I asked, hoping Blackjack wouldn't give me an answer.
Ghouls, raiders, monsters, mines, heartbreaking scenes of the mass death and destruction, sharp edges on tin cans, just the standard stuff.
She said as she walked next to me. A casual air surrounded her as she talked, but I could feel the edge of alertness as her red eyes scanned the old, wheat-chalked track we traveled down. Large gnarled oak trees with sickly yellow-green leaves arched overhead.
Oh, you really gotta watch out for those tin cans. It's a good way to get an oh, what's the word? An abacus of your hoof.
Glitter asked, then shrugged.
A thing where your hoof gets all hot and feels like it's on fire for a few days, and you cut out the grossness. Anyways, I remember going scavenging when I was with Caledonia and Dry Only. It was always fun. It should be fun, right, Blackjack?
Glitter asked, turning to look down at Blackjack.
Sure, scavenging is fun.
Blackjack quipped. Scavenging is not fun, I blurted, repeating the line beaten into my head by the ponies in Friendship and Junction City. Every time we're out here, it could be the last time we go somewhere. You could die at any minute of any day while out in the wastes. I was about to continue when Glitter cut me off.
Trinity, I know that.
She said, frowning at me.
I lost my friends when I first forgot it by Unity. When I found out I was good, I was with the good things, and go boom, I've killed ponies. Don't treat me like a filly.
I was taken aback, as was Blackjack. I never felt anger and regret from Glitter before. Usually she was a happy ball of sunshine. Glitter,
You didn't ask. Serenity, no pony does really. I feel bad about it now. I didn't mean to drop a grenade right onto the pile of ammo, but knowing it was an accident and that they meant to hurt it, the Tamp's ponies who were nice and made me feel less bad about it.
She looked back at Blackjack.
But don't think I don't think. I know I could. I know it could be bad, but I'm kind of hungry, and Serenity already doesn't eat enough.
My eyes widened in surprise at her observation, and instantly I felt horrifically guilty for underestimating the awareness of my best friend. Blackjack, for her part, watched the whole exchange with a somewhat amused smile.
Shall we go and get to it?
She asked, gesturing at the ruined shop that was parked at the crossroads. A half-dozen rusting wagons lay in rest in the parking lot. A yellowed sign read, "Baker's dozen with every order." Some pony had boarded over most of the windows, so it was impossible to tell what was inside. I nodded and drew a small disintegration pistol from the holster on my left foreleg. "Might as well get this over with," I said, my words garbled somewhat by the beat in my mouth. Glitter cast a shield around herself and trotted forward. She seemed to be focused on the ground as we made our way toward the rusted front door to the donut shop. I tried to see what she was looking for, but ended up nearly walking into Blackjack, who gave me a look that, in one moment, said, "If you shoot me in the ass, so help me."
No no trippies.
Glitter said, and lightly nudged the door open.
You see anything, Blackjack? No bodies. No artfully arranged heads on spikes. No barbed wire wrapped creatively around genitals of captive ponies. So no raiders.
She said quietly, then yelled
Hello!
into the dinner. Something crashed in the back and she grinned.
Well, something's in there.
When she looked at me,
What's your call?
I felt my body going to red alert as soon as I heard the crash. "Luna, damn it! I hoped to just get some supplies." I holstered my pistol so I could talk. I really wished I was a unicorn for about a half second. "Glitter, do you see any trippies inside?" I asked, trying to look to see if I could see anything. Glitter
No,
shook her head.
no trippies. Should be okay.
I looked at Blackjack. "Can you be the first one in?" I asked. "If it's some pony, please don't shoot first and say hello and I'm sorry later." She pursed her lips and levitated the pump-action shotgun.
Hello!
She yelled into the dinner.
I'm sorry.
She said as she stepped inside.
You're not here to kill anyone. We just after stuff.
She paused and glanced back at me.
Was it me or was that just a little raiderish?
I frowned and shook my head. "Yes, that was Raider-ish," I said, stepping forward to the donut shop proper. "If you're—" Click! I froze as the floor shifted just slightly under my hoof. My eyes went wide as I looked at Blackjack just before the lot exploded, and I got covered in pink sticky bubblegum. When I say I meant Blackjack and I, who had misfortune of being right next to me. Blackjack just turned to look at me, the left half of her face covered in a mask of mottled pink.
I
No,
saw
wait. I saw it going differently in my head, I admitted as I looked at her gum spattered mane.
Me too.
She admitted.
Keep a lookout. This next one might not be so sticky.
She said as she stepped further into the decrepit shop. The booths were arranged on three sides, half tables collapsed or missing. The counter separated from the front of the store from the back. A faded cardboard cutout of a yellowish-brown stallion had the caption, "Try our special Donutopia, just 49 bits." I suggested to an impossibly large mound of stacked donuts. I went to take a step forward and realized I could no longer lift my hoofs off the floor. Uh, I... I think I'm stuck," I said, drawing Blackjack's attention back to me, as Lisa tried to lift me off the floor with her magic.
Mm-hmm.
she said as she walked slowly forward, shotgun levitated every other step, making a wet, sticky sloop noise on the filthy checkerboard linoleum.
If you're listening, that was a cool trap, but a terrible waste of gun.
And there is a new character here.
Who wants to take it?
I don't know, definitely not myself.
I'll
It's...
take it.
Go ahead.
I chew a lot of gum.
A soft tenor voice rolled back.
Though, if you don't mind, I'd prefer you just as soon you leave my house.
The stallion's voice said, and I froze as I spotted the barrel of a grenade rifle poke over the counter.
I don't want to hurt any pony, but this round isn't made of gum, if you catch my meaning.
Belcher glanced at the rifle, then at me, and just looked at me arching a brow as if I knew what to do when glued to the floor with a grenade rifle pointed at me and my friends. We were just looking for supplies, I said quickly, hoping I could fast talk my way out of this. When I heard the crash, we thought you might be a critter, and I'd love to leave, but your gum kinda has me stuck. Peter pulled on me again, raising my head above the counter drop with her magic for a split second before the gum snapped me back down and got me stuck fast on ground again, jarring my legs and hooves. Ow! Glitter! Boy started laughing as he heard me hit the ground.
Either you're a lot more incompetent raiders, or ever you're telling the truth. If your unicorn friend lowers the shotgun, I'll put Thump away.
He offered, pulling the barrel of a grenade rifle back slightly. I turned to Blackjack and nodded to her. I think we'll be okay. She shook her head and disappeared in a flash of white, appearing behind the counter with a shotgun pointed at his head. Her eyes scanned around the kitchen for a moment, then she relaxed.
Looks like it's just him.
And with that, she teleported back beside me, her
for
shotgun
sake.
raised.
Not totally incompetent.
She commented lightly with a smile. The stallion let out a long sigh, then stood up, lowering over the counter. He had a long, luxurious pink mane, and his coat was a bright periwinkle. Though he looked at Blackjack with some wonderment as he stood. The stallion was nearly as tall as Glitter was, and actually really cute too. And here is a picture of a new character. You can marvel at him.
It looks like a she, and it looks like it's from a YCH. Seriously, this looks like an adopt pony from YCH auctions.
I mean,
VCH?
your character here.
VCH, это чё?
Your character here.
Yeah, it's
It's
basically a
fun.
place where they auction off things, and you can auction off these. Some people auction off OCs basically. I'll show you one moment.
Show him some of Ralik's work.
Да.
Ralik, what's with
Ralik.
Ralik?
I mean, he doing the pretty good YCH. That's why.
Oh yeah, Ralik.
Your
Pretty,
character here, I found it. I got it.
it's pretty fucking expensive, mate. I mean, I sometimes check on these, though not anymore since I've been cutting back on my budget recently.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's the new character design you going to. So yeah,
I have a word about this
go
character.
ahead. Okay.
Полный пиздец.
Погоди, мы еще не начали, мы только начали, мы около половины. He gasped. Okay, so let me check it. No. Okay, so I suggest we read up to the Asterix and then I will get to sleep. Alright?
Okay then.
Glitter gasped.
Oh my gosh, yes. You're pretty. You're so pretty.
She squeaked, and in my head I could see little red hearts floating over my head toward him. He blushed nearly as pink as his mane.
Thanks.
He said, looking slightly bemused. Then he shook himself.
I mean, it's always nice to have a compliment from a pretty mare.
He replied, trying to sound smooth. I could feel it was working on Glitter, though I was less than impressed. Now that that's handled, and we've proved that our unicorn is scary when she can teleport to goddess knows where, do you have something to help me get unstuck? I asked, wishing I had a pin to pop the hearts floating above my head.
Rude.
Blackjack said with a smile.
I'm fish. This is Threnody and Glitter.
She said, gesturing to me and my friend in turn.
What's your name?
she asked with a wide smile, enjoying this immensely. Oh no, not her too! The stallion inclined his head.
Bubblegum, or Bubbles. To ponies who know me well.
He said, well, I could feel his suave resolve beginning to falter slightly at having two males give him attention at once.
Welcome to my humble home and, oh, sorry. Sorry about the front door. Most ponies knock well when fish called out. It startled me and I tripped in a buff manner over some cans.
I smirked as his composure wavered.
I want to call you Bubbles.
Glitterbomb said in a daze. Doggy just laughed and shook her head.
Okay, so now we know who everyone is. Do you have a trick for getting the gum off of our coats? Otherwise, I'll need to use Plan B, and Thran wouldn't look good shaved.
I snorted at Blackjack. She wouldn't have shaved me. She wouldn't shave me. Wait, no, she totally would. I was so doomed. Bubblegum perked up.
Oh yeah, let me get the solvent.
He sat talking back into the back of the shop.
The thing that makes my sticky bombs isn't really gum. But it's the Wonder Glue with a mix in it.
He explained. Doctor snorted.
So what's the gum for? Because I've Wonder Glued the ass of some pony to the ground before. It doesn't make for a good motivator to stay put and stop fighting, even if your method isn't as humiliating as having your butt suddenly struck fast to concrete. But see, humiliation is what the gum is for. Imagine how ridiculous you'd look even if you were a reader. If you came back, you had a massive gum stuck to your face. God, good way to lose all cred out here in the waste.
Bubblegum replied, returning from the back of the shop with a can of turpentine.
Here, this should do the trick to beat down. Just close your eyes and, well, I can see if I can kick the water talisman in the back. The right way to make it work so it would wash the turpentine off your mains.
He said, an apologetic look on his muzzle. Just get me off of your floor, please, I said, trying to not be too grumpy at him. I mean, it would have been worse. He would have used real grenades. Glitter took the can of turpentine and unceremoniously dumped it on my head.
Glitter!
No,
Wait, that's
glitter! Yeah, glitter! I shouted, quickly closing my eyes as the foul-smelling liquid flowed over my head and back. Great, now I couldn't see. But I was almost positive based on that irritating saccharine wash of infatuation I was getting from Glitter and Blackjack's uproarious laughter, which clearly had just taken the can and continued staring at bubblegum. I tested my hooves, and happily found that I could pull free of the floor. Fine, Blackjack, help me find the shower, and rub your face on me to get the gum out of your mane. I grumbled, holding fine. Blackjack? Oh, okay, never mind. Holding out a hoof for her to lead me.
Shower?
Blackjack snorted, and then broke into laughter. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure this place doesn't have running water, and if it does, you could soak up some rats with it. I doubt you'd like them as much as Glitter. I did say the water talisman kinda worked,
Bubblegum started.
but I also have right away for the rats you'd soak up using it. I told you the shower wouldn't work. Fortunately, I have a solution.
Blackjack said with a snicker. Based on the rolling wave of barely hidden giggles, I had a feeling I wasn't going to like the solution. Suddenly I felt myself soaked head on hoof in something sticky, tepid, vaguely fizzy, and only slightly less caustic than turpentine. Reeking of carrots, I cracked an eye and looked at two empty soda bottles hovering over me. Okay, well, that... Fish are only slightly less sticky than when I started, I protested. Bubblegum cracked up, laughing at the pair of us. This was not a good plan.
At least you smell nice, Trinity.
Glitter said, throwing over to pat my head.
Sorry I dropped the whole thing on you. I was
Ogling the eye candy? I asked tartly, causing both glitter and bubblegum to blush. Blackjack's horn glowed, and I stared as the magic just slid the pink goo off her, baking it into a big ball. But that's cheating! I snapped.
That's learning.
Blackjack replied as she tossed it to the side, letting the globe stick to the wall.
Pretty sure you're going to watch out next time.
Bubblegum continued to snicker, then looked at the globe on the wall.
I kinda like the blob there. It almost matches my cutie mark.
He shook his head.
Anyways, you said you were looking for supplies.
He asked, looking the three of us over.
Got anything to trade? I do have some food stored if you got the caps.
I glanced at Blackjack. That was something we didn't have. We might be able to work out a trade, I offered as I started to dig through my saddlebags, which weren't very full to begin with. I turned to look at Glitter as she began shaking her rump. Odd beads and bubbles fell out of her lovely purple tail. Tin cans, toy carriage, plastic dinosaur that squeaked as it bounced off the floor, but no cups. Glitter?
Oh, Mr. Chompers, where you went?
She said, picking up a dinosaur and putting it in her mane. Bubblegum pursed his lips at the random things Glitter dropped from Luna knows where.
I would like to help you out, but I really need caps. Anything more than toys.
Blackjack watched all of this with a warm smile, then asked,
What do you need caps for out here? You're all alone.
The big stallion wheeled slightly at the word alone. Oh, that was a sore nerve that Blackjack had just struck.
I do sometimes do other things than just live here. Fish.
She said quietly.
I usually work in the mercenary helping guard caravans that come through here, or I make bubble gum and sell it to the bulk in large towns.
He shrugged.
Cap stock. What a coincidence. We're on a journey to your company, and we could use your company. I'm sure that we'll be able to cover our costs once we get to Junction City, or Manhattan, or wherever. I'm sure you'll have plenty of opportunities to sell gum on the way with us.
Blackjack said easily as she smiled at him like he was a tall periwinkle bottle of wild Pegasus. Yeah. Oddly though, the last coming from her was far less thick than it had been with Slate. Glitter trotted over to Bubblegum's side, giving Blackjack the briefest I saw him first glance.
I mean, we're three fillies out all alone. We could really use some help for getting to Junction City, please.
She asked, giving him a childishly overblown pouty face that looked out of place rendered on her adult features. Great. Now we were seducing stallions. Not that Blackjack was wrong, we likely could pay him once we got to Junction City and got caught up with the Heartmenders. But the muted lust from Blackjack and the certainly not muted lust from Glitter worried me. I sighed. I was always of Apocalypse, and we could use some supplies and, well, I guess an escort to Jackson City. I can promise you pay once we get there, but we don't have anything right this moment. I said honestly, looking at Blackjack as I gave her a worried look. Bubblegum looked and felt very anxious as Glitter stood next to him. His cheeks took on a slightly pink hue as she smiled at him. Her eyes half-lidded.
I mean, I do know the followers, but that's what I say, that you'll actually pay me when I get there.
He asked, leaning away from the laugh-struck alicorn.
You'll have to trust us.
Blackjack answered.
After all, if we were raiders, I could have just killed you and taken your stuff. Granted, I can't say how safe the trip would be, but I can't be much worse than staying here all alone.
I physically winced as alone, yet again hit home with Bubblegum. His pink eyes took on a slightly hollow look as he made eye contact with me. I could tell that he was already thinking about it, but to me, it felt like we were exploiting him. Stubborn guilt and self-reproach began to well inside me. Bubblegum, you don't have to come with us if you don't want to, I said, meeting his eyes honestly. We're kind of a bunch of misfits, and what we're up to isn't like... I frowned, unsure of how to explain our journey to some pony. We don't know how safe it will be, but I do know that we need to get to Judgment City. It's really important. But if you don't want to come, you don't have to. Damn it, why was Blackjack so amused right now? I turned and glared at her. What? What is so funny? I started giving her my best effort at a glare. It apparently was funny because she started cackling at me.
Just reminding me of when I was starting out. I took Glory the same thing. You don't have to if you don't want to.
And with that, her amusement died, her smile hollowing into a mask of amusement.
I just thought it was funny.
She said in a faintly subdued voice. To my surprise, it was bubblegum that perked up at Glory.
Glory?
He asked.
As in Morning Glory?
She looked at him and answered in a harder voice.
It's a common name.
Bubblegum's ears dropped at her tone.
I guess it's just I knew a really nice Pegasus named Morning Glory when I was just a little cold. She brought me food once back to the place I was staying at and gave me some Wastelanders.
He shook his head.
Guess it was just a common name then. No, that definitely sounds like her.
Blackjack said as she turned away.
Giving away priceless food for ponies who need it.
That bit of self-hatred was widening, opening like an abscess in her mind. I thought it over and put a slightly sticky hoof on her shoulder as Bubblegum spoke up.
Oh well, if you knew her, then you must be a wonderful pony. I remember when she gave me a sky apple. She sat with me and helped me brush my mane out, and said I was very brave
He looked down at his hooves.
for making my way alone.
He admitted quietly. I watched it as Glitter hesitantly patted his back with a wing.
So you want the job or not?
Blackjack asked bluntly. Bubblegum nodded.
I want the job. I have some food and a few other weapons. We can get moving sooner if you unicorn fillies help me with get my boarding on.
He said, his voice full of resolve.
Anything to help a friend of Miss Glory.
He slipped out of beneath Glitter's wing and headed towards the back of the shop.
Come on back. I've got a bunch of stuff back there. You've got saddlebags? We can share the load?
I took the opportunity to brush my muzzle against Blackjack's shoulder. Talking about Glory still hurts really bad, I said softly. You wanna talk?
Always.
She said in a low voice.
And no.
She added, walking into the back and forcing a smile on her face.
Sure, I'm all for sharing loads and stuff.
Glitter and I trotted into what once had been the kitchen area of the Pony Joe's. Bubblegum had cleared the shelves of old pots and pans and had stacked up all sorts of things on them. Apple-shaped silver grenades, 40mm rifle grenades, boxes that were labeled 25mm grenades, boxes of Instamash and Big Mac and Cheese, bottles of water and sparkle cola. My eyes widened as I looked at massive battle saddle that was equipped with a gun that was nearly as big as I was. Where did you keep all this stuff? I asked, awed by the amount of things this pony had stashed.
I've been saving things for years. I was always good with explosives.
Bubblegum explained as he tugged a set of leather button off of shelf. Glitter horn lit up as she helped him into it.
So I make my own non-lethal sticky rounds, but I can also know when to use the ones that kill. There's always times when you have to kill.
He said, his voice taking on that slightly haunted tone.
Go ahead and grab what you can. I can always restock before I head back from Johnson City. Must be an Earth Pony thing.
Blackjack murmured under her breath. Underneath the surface, though, I could feel that churning ball of self-hate and loathing sitting somewhere around Blackjack's heart. But she seemed to be trying to keep it bottled up for now. She looked over Bubblegum's grenade rifle with a wistful expression before asking.
So you know the way then?
Bubblegum nodded.
Yeah, head west from here and keep going west.
He said, looking sheepish, pulling out the battle saddle. He kicked his 40mm grenade rifle with his back hoof, causing it to flip over his back to land neatly in the holster opposite to the big gun.
Okay, honestly, I have no idea, but most of the time I just follow where the caribous go.
Glitter looked down at the big cannon-like device.
Wow, that's such a big gun. A really big gun. A really big, shiny gun.
Giggity. She muttered.
Mm,
Blackjack chuckled again, but Bubblegum's eyes turned to the hulking weapon.
Yeah, she's a beauty. Shame she doesn't work though.
She,
She,
she, uh, she,
she.
I
I
mean,
mean, it
it's
doesn't.
me. It's me.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was glitter. Oh, sorry.
No. She, I mean, it doesn't? I asked, and Glitter swiped the snack cake off the shelf, unwrapped, and tossed the whole thing into her mouth in one gulp.
Nah, it used to be my mom's, but got broke a while back.
He said with another wave of bittersweet memory as he looked to us.
And do any of you know about fixing guns?
Glitter shook her head when looked suddenly sheepish as she was caught with a pilfered snack cake in her mouth. She swallowed when started loading up boxes of food into her saddlebags. Her muscles crunched slightly as she got the small stack of crumb.
I'm just good with things like glitter apples.
She explained, pointing at the small stack of grenades.
I kind of get lucky when I throw them.
Bubblegum snickered.
Well, then I know why you take those. I'll stick with them.
He said, packing his grenade rifle as he slipped off on a pair of saddlebags and started to pulling ammunition and food into his bags. I watched as his strong hoofs moved the set of 40mm grenades effortlessly. Watched as his bad frenzy. I quickly tried to find something else to do as I caught myself staring at the stallion's cute butt. Arr! I was thinking about it. No thinking like Blackjack. I grabbed a few bottles of sparkle cola and tried to find something else to look at and think about. I made eye contact with Blackjack, hoping she hadn't caught where my gaze had been lingering on bubblegum. The slight smile I detected in her red eyes told me I'd been found out.
Admiring the scenery.
She asked, a smirk on her muzzle. I took in a deep breath and trotted out of the door. I'll be outside when you're ready, I called over my shoulder as I flew out of the old rusty red door. I didn't want to deal with that right now. Looking at colts was always a bad idea. Looking at fillies was a bad idea. Looking at ponies like that led you down the path to being like Blackjack. I shuddered and spread my wings. They cracked, strained, and pitched as the dried soda irritated my feathers and stuck them together. Great. I probably couldn't fly until I print them. Why was nothing ever easy? I allowed myself a moment of self-pity, then shook my head. This was how things were when you weren't pampered at home. I'd survive it. Somehow.
Wait, you're how old?
Glitter squeaked as she and Bubblegum talked around the fire we'd lit at a small campsite. We'd made camp at a little spring an hour or two south of the donut shop. Glitter had said the water didn't make her feel all tingly, so we assumed it was safe enough to drink and wash all the sticky off me. Glitter and the Earth Pony Stallion were sitting on the opposite side of from Blackjack and I, learning about each other with oddly depressing interest. Bubblegum blushed.
I'm 15. I'm just kind of tall. Well, kind of.
He said sheepishly, before digging into a pot of baked beans he'd been heating over the fire.
That means you're only like 2 years older than me.
Glitter replied, giggling happily as she nibbled on an ear of roasted corn.
Wait, only 2 years older than you? I thought alicorns lived a long time.
Bubblegum exclaimed, looking thoroughly confused.
Oh, they do. I just didn't become an alicorn when I was old like Fishy. I was a little filly. So Collie thinks she says I'm sorta like a young mare.
She said brightly.
I asked what my birthday was, and she told me the day I guessed an age when we community eat, and 9 years later, now I'm 13, and you're just a year older than Trinity.
I listened thoughtfully as my friend talked. Blackjack piped up.
I guess I didn't realize that you would have joined Unity as a young Philly glitter. It does kind of make sense though why you and I always get along better than the other alicorns.
I guess it was my line, but okay.
Oh wait, no, that's Blackjack.
Okay,
was
yeah, never
blackjack.
mind. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it was.
Also, stupid thing, but is this like fucking child daycare now? We have someone who's 13, someone who's 14, and someone who's 15 with a 21-year-old lunatic.
No, it is not. It's quite the opposite, actually. Okay, Glitter nodded sagely.
Well, yeah, duh. The alicorns were all old and weird, like Pickle Palette. She always says she used to be a he, and she always whines about, where is my penis? Where is my penis? Where is my penis? I miss my penis. Weird.
She said, shaking her head. Bubblegum shifted his hind legs closer together.
Well, I mean, you take away a cold Sprite and he gets a bit upset.
He said quietly.
Why? Magic? Does your penis do a special thing?
Glitter gasped.
Is it like Trinity's healing magic? Heal things like Trinity does. Only if he's a bad pony.
Blackjack deadpanned. I snorted at her response and shook my head. I think what Bubblegum is trying to say is that he'd be very uncomfortable too if he suddenly woke up in the body of a mare. I said, trying to draw Glitter's attention away from the poor colt for just a moment. I do think that stallions are lucky in that they don't have to deal with things like periods or seasons depending on where you grew up. Blackjack looked at me, a queer expression on her face.
What in hell is a period?
I sighed. Well, because you grew up in a stable view while she didn't adapt to the wasteland. 200 years of struggling to rebuild population and some mares biologists shifted from a yearly cycle to a monthly cycle. It's rather annoying, so I hear. But it also means that a mare can get pregnant pretty much any time, or rather only a select month out of the year. I explained, getting a disturbed look, a blank look, and a curious look. There's breeding involved, you know, from a filly bit every month. Oh, so I'm told. Okay, make that 3 disturbed faces. That's all.
That sounds pretty terrifying. And I've seen screaming runes.
She answered.
Just shove a piece of copper up there and call it good.
I shrugged. I mean, someone has bitched about it before. I know that mares who are from, like, the stables around the hoof would talk about if they didn't get pregnant after their season. They'd bleed a bit, but I don't know. I just know what the mares taught me in Junction City. I've never had one myself, but that apparently freaked out Sandalwood for some reason.
Why are we talking about this?
Bubblegum asked with a strained smile of failing faint coolness.
Is there a reason we're talking about this?
I snorted, and took a bite of mac and cheese. Uh, Mostly to get off the topic of sex, cause knowing my luck, Fish will want to play like Truth or Dare or something horrifyingly sexual that she used to play in '99, and then I feel weird. I look around. I also did manage to cross out my friends. Do we have ketchup? I asked with a wicked grin.
Can we not talk about the right things for a while?
Glitter asked, looking positively green.
So, where are you from exactly?
Bloodshot asked coolly as she gave a cheer smile to the young stallion.
Nowhere important. Nowhere important. No, wait.
Bubblegum.
Sorry. Yes.
Bubblegum shook
Junction
himself. Bubblegum shook himself before answering.
I grew up on the road. Mom and dad were traders, and they tended to trade from Manhattan, from the edge of the hoof. I couldn't even tell where I was born.
He explained with a shrug.
So, the wasteland. That's where I'm from. How about y'all? Junction
Junction
City.
City. It's me. Junction City.
Oh,
Well, recently Elysium, but mostly Junction City. I replied as quickly as if could.
Unity till I was deunited. So, am I right, Pony?
Glitter offered.
Nowhere important.
Bloodshot answered, her eyes clenching on his define grenade launcher.
That's some firepower for a trader. More like a steel ranger weapon.
Bubblegum looked down at the grenade machine gun.
I don't really know where Mom got it. I know that they weren't rangers, and At least I don't think that they were. My dad told me he took it off of a caravan his pa was killed in. Mom,
He trailed off.
I honestly don't know. Mom never really said, but just said that she loves dad, and that was it.
I shivered and moved closer to both Blackjack and the fire as the cold feelings of sadness, loss, and regret rolled off bubblegum. I really wished that Blackjack would stop poking at the poor colt's obvious heart wound. Fishy, could you stop, trying to pick at Pony's emotional scabs? I think that's a typo. Oh, there you go. I asked, frowning at her. It's like you want to hang out with the most angsty ponies in the wasteland.
I have that effect on people.
She answered with that infuriating little smile. Bubblegum shot me a look.
I'm not angsty, just the wasteland ain't kind sometimes, you know. There's a reason why I was an orphan when I met Miss Glory. The raiders around the hoof were a whole new breed of crazy. They weren't just bandits, they were, I don't even know.
He said, anger and hate flaring into a small emotional typhoon.
They were sick ponies. They were the only time I ever saw Mom use this.
He explained, patting the gun.
Was the day she died. The day they both died. It hasn't worked since then.
Billabong let her ears droop, and lightly lay a big purple wing over Bubblegum's back.
I'm sorry, the scary dumb ponies killed your parents, Bubbles.
Bubblegum shrugged.
Hey, shit happens, right?
He paused.
Fish.
My eyes widened at the name Bubblegum had started to say. I looked over at Blackjack. The hell? What did you just say? I asked slowly.
Fish?
He asked innocently, taking another bite of beans and chewing very, very slowly. Almost like he didn't want to be asked more questions. Shit! He was a spy! He was sent to spy on us! Watcher lied! Conspiracy theories tumbled down through my brain as I very quietly panicked. Blackjack had reacted neither physically nor emotionally. Had she not noticed, or did she really not care?
Yeah, I'd say shit happens.
She answered calmly as she gazed at him.
Have we met?
Bubblegum shook his head.
We haven't, not that I know of. I used to run around the Crusaders before the Battle of the Hoof. You just remind me of a mare that died.
Blackjack suggested, her tone even and cool. Bubblegum looked down at his pot of beans, his muscles crunched up.
Well, every pony said she died, but she'd done that a lot. And she had like a boat fall on her twice, according to Adagio. So I thought maybe you probably recall she had a cutie mark of playing cards.
Blackjack said before gesturing to her own bare flank.
I don't.
He frowned slightly.
But didn't she get put in a weird body?
He asked. My eyes narrowed at his line of questioning. I wasn't sure I liked just how bright his coat appeared to be.
I like how he doesn't ask why a mare your age doesn't have a cutie mark, Fishy.
Peter snickered.
I wonder why she's not staring at my butt. I must be getting old. Or do I look like a mare in her late 20s?
Bubblegum blushed.
I have been looking at your flanks. All your flanks.
He blurted, then covered his mouth with a hoof.
I mean, you look like your face is maybe a few years younger than me.
He admitted, obviously trying to regain some composure. His face fell.
Which, I guess...
He shook his head.
Sorry, I nearly called you Blackjack, Miss Fish. It's fine, I get it a lot.
She answered.
Even these two call me Blackjack sometimes, but I'm not her.
Blackjack's words sat like a 20-kilo weight in my stomach. I didn't like lying to Bubblegum. He seemed like a nice, honest coat, and he didn't deserve to be lied to. Even if the truth... I looked up to find Blackjack's red eyes boring into mine. I could almost hear "It's your call" in her voice in my head, and I knew I had to keep telling the lie. If ponies knew that Blackjack was alive, it would make things even more complicated for us. Even more dangerous for us as we travel to Judgment City. I let my green eyes cool as I stayed silent.
I call her that because of her mane.
Lisa said helpfully. Her bright innocence appeared to seal the deal for Bubblegum, and he didn't bring it up for the rest of the night. Blackjack and I volunteered for the first watch, so when I was certain that Glitter and Bubbles were asleep, I finally spoke. I don't like lying. You made me tell the truth too much, Blackjack.
So don't lie.
She answered, her eyes locked on the dying fire.
Tell him the truth. He won't mind either way.
I said softly. But the truth is dangerous. I can't justify in my own head putting him at more risk than he already is by traveling with us by telling him the truth.
Then lie.
She stated quietly.
Oh wait, you don't like that. That sounds like you're doomed to misery either way.
I'm not doomed to misery. I'm conflicted. It told me I should speak up and tell the truth in Junction City. I kind of accept that I have to do that. I still don't know how I will, but I know I have to. I just don't want to bring the world of her down on some pony that's already had some hard times. That feels extremely cruel.
The pony who you the pony who hurt you. Is she hurting another filly right now? Doing to them what was done to you?
Blackjack asked her eyes still on the embers. I don't know that, Blackjack. You know, I don't know that. But because I don't know that, I want to make sure that she never gets the opportunity to hurt another filly again. I said resolutely.
So are you going to kill her?
I recoiled, like she slapped me. How could she ask such a thing? I didn't want to kill her. I wanted to make sure she stopped hurting ponies. Of course not! What would you ask that?
As Rampage would say, it's always an option. It's generally pretty reliable. Depends on how much weirdness is in her life.
She said with a tiny smile.
So, are you going to try to sick the followers on her? Let them kill her for you?
Followers don't kill except in cases of self-defense, I retorted. So telling followers wouldn't do me any good. That lead weight set in my stomach again. I don't know what I'm doing, Blackjack. I just don't want to see her hurting any pony else. If that means making her publicly own up to her deeds to face trial within the NCR, I... I don't know how I'd react. I lied, knowing the answer to that question. What little I knew of NCR's justice was that rapists and foul molesters tended to be hanged, which only made me feel more sick. By telling the truth, I was effectively ending some pony's life. Blackjack didn't say anything for almost a minute as I pondered this.
Well, you have some time to make up your mind, one way or another.
Why was she smiling? This wasn't a conversation for smiling. I felt utterly sick and curled up to a ball beside her. I don't even know if I'm worth the trouble I'm going through to try to speak about it. She gave a little grunt.
If you hadn't left, what would you be doing right now? Me getting drunk, skewing slate, you being grouchy. No matter what you do something. Me? I'm just glad to be moving again.
I lay my cheek on my hoof and look up at her. Well, you were getting moving again, I said quietly. And I do mean that personally, not just because I'm a hard manner,
So, what's next?
she asked.
What are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go tomorrow?
I frowned. If I had my peep back, I would have told her. Well, I figure we keep heading west. Bubbles may not know the way to Dutton City, but maybe if we find our way to Manhattan, then we'll have an easier time getting down to where we need to be. I asked, getting up onto my haunches, only to flop over and rest my head on her shoulder.
Are you in a hurry to get there?
Rachel asked without looking at me. I shook my head once.
Then maybe we should go south. Or go north to follow the coast. We don't have to go straight there. That is, unless you're in a hurry.
I wasn't in a hurry. I definitely didn't need to hurry to get there. In fact, right now I was right where I wanted to be, with my best friend, with a new friend, with Blackjack. I nuzzled into her shoulder, taking in her soft, sweet scent. I'm okay with not hurrying, I said softly as I smiled at her. Hey, Blackjack?
Hmm?
She finally looked down at me with a small smile. When she moved to look down at me, it brought her muzzle just a bit closer to mine. I felt my heart start to race, but it was a good racing. Not panic, just beating faster because she was close. My emerald eyes locked with hers as I felt myself being drawn closer to her lips. Can you? I asked, moving closer to her muzzle. A part of my brain started scolding me about climate, ethics, and kissing fees, but I ignored it. I mean, uh, is it okay?
You tell me.
She asked, keeping her voice down. It's okay, I whispered back. Blackjack was safe. She may not be stable, she may not be perfect, but she was safe. And I liked the idea of safe. Safe felt good and smelled good, so I inched my muzzle a little closer to hers.
Ask me tomorrow.
She said, when rose to her hooves.
We get some sleep. I'll keep watch.
She said as she stared out at the night with a tiny smile. Opened my mouth, then closed it again. Had I done something wrong? What did I do wrong? I lay down and curled up, my own emotions a whirling swirl of confusion, frustration, love, curiosity, lust, sadness, and dejection. What did I do wrong? The end!